Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. Back on the Christmas vlogging sort of path, yesterday we made up all the ice creams, which I will, once they're frozen, I will show and tack on to the end of yesterday's video, so you'll already have seen that. Today we are going to make the cookies to go with the ice cream sandwiches. So I have 3 different recipes here for 3 different cookies. One is a gingerbread oatmeal cookie, one is a salted pecan, vanilla and oat ice cream sandwich cookie, and one is a chocolate ice cream sandwich cookie. So I will follow these recipes as much as I follow recipes, but I grabbed 3 to sort of, use as something to work from, because I don't make cookies all that often. The person who normally cooks cookies is Kavik, actually. So I'm going to go with these 3 varieties, and the kids can eat them as cookies, but we can also do the ice cream sandwiches. We will do some sugar cookies and some gingerbread cookies at some point as well for the kids to decorate, but these ones are to have as the ice cream sandwich, theoretically. They'll probably eat them other ways too, but that's the purpose for these. So we're going to just go through and try and get all 3 of these mixed up and cooked off in batches. I may have to put some in the fridge for periods of time, because I might just make all 3 lots of batter one after the other, or dough, and then start baking them off, but obviously I can't bake them all off at the same time. So it's pretty warm. It's about 34 degrees. It was actually only 19 degrees this morning when I got up, and it was quite chilly. And it was overcast, and we thought we might have a bit of a cooler day. Yeah, nah. It's now 34 degrees and pretty horrible again. So I'm going to pull everything I need out to get started on these, and then we'll get started. All right, let's start with these ones first. These are from Queen. They're salty pecan, vanilla and oat ice cream sandwiches is what it says. Cross between an Anzac. So that sounds really good because we really like Anzac cookies. So we are going to put our dry ingredients in here first. Also turning the oven on to preheat. All right, so we want 150 grams of plain flour. This one's a fairly easy one to make. I might double it though anyway. I was going to say, so the kids could probably make it again next time, but I went way over the flour initially anyway. 150 grams of plain flour. So we've got 300 grams of plain flour. We want 180 grams of rolled oats. 160 grams of brown sugar. I've got coconut sugar here because that just happens to be what I've got at the moment. So we actually want 320. Always make these cookies and sit there and go the massive amount of sugar in these. Now we need 120 grams of chopped pecans. I just need a board. And I'm just going to roughly chop them. Pecans are really nice and easy to chop. They're such a soft nut. And we don't need to have them any particular board and this bench are a bit wonky. They don't need any particular uniformity of size or anything. We just want them broken up a little bit. So what do we want? 120 grams of these. So just a few more. There you go, 120 grams of pecans. Now we are just going to mix that through. I have my new whisk, so we're just going to mix all that dry ingredients together. All right, and now we need to melt the butter and stuff. So this is the part that's reminiscent of the Anzac cookies. So we've got a pot. We need 300 grams of butter. And we need some vanilla. And we're going to melt this. All right, so we're melting that butter and vanilla on low. And in the meantime, it wants me to do 2 teaspoons of baking soda, bicarb. 1, 2. With 2 tablespoons of boiling water. I've got the kettle going, which we will add to the butter once it is melted, and then we'll add that to the dry ingredients. So fairly straightforward sort of a recipe, very reminiscent of Anzac biscuits. So we want 4 tablespoons of boiling water. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add that to our melted butter, which will theoretically foam up a bit. And then we add that to our dry ingredients. And we bring it together. Don't even really need the stand mixer. I could have used a different bowl for this one, I think. And all the flour off the bottom, mix through. And that's it. That's dough number 1 brought together. Now, it doesn't say that this needs chilling or anything. It just goes straight in, 2 tablespoon size pieces. So let's grab our baking tray. Now in my house, I prefer that we do them slightly smaller and have more of them than have them so big that you feel forced to finish one that you don't necessarily want to finish. So I don't know what size this scoop is. Could be 2 tablespoons, but it seems like a good size to me. So apparently they spread to twice their size, so we want to leave plenty of room for them to spread. The dough is very handleable. My hands are wet, mind you, because I just washed stuff, but slippery. My hands don't work real great at the best of times. Add grease and water and I struggle a bit, but we will make it work. I should get children out to help me, mind you. But sometimes when I get children out to help, everything just takes so long. Like this, the recipe said it made 12 servings. I don't know whether that's 12 biscuits or 24 biscuits, if it's supposed to be a like an ice cream sandwich, where it's saying 12 servings of an ice cream sandwich, or just 12 biscuits. Not sure. Same process. And I would say that the serving size was 12 biscuits because 8 fits on each of these trays, and I reckon I could get another tray out of them. So that's what we'll aim for, is 24 all up. I should try and make some of these, some keto ones, some of the keto choc chip ones for Darryl to use with some of the low sugar ice cream. But we're going to throw those 2 trays in. I think it says 10 to 12 minutes is all it takes. So we'll go throw those in. We will see how they go. I got these lovely, I don't know if I mentioned it, I got these lovely microfiber Christmas tea towels from Keeley. They're great for grease. Like if you've got greasy hands and you need to get it off your hands. I don't like microfiber very much in general, but they're wonderful for that. So I'm going to throw these 2 trays in. I'll put this on another tray, but I might put them in the fridge and see if there's a difference between the 2 cooking of them with the one lot in the fridge. The next one is the iced, I won't ice them, but gingerbread oatmeal cookies. I'm not going to wash the bowl because the similar flavours, it's got oats in it as well. So we're just going to go straight in for that one. We want 170 grams of butter, softened butter, which, you know, any butter that's been taken out of the fridge here is softened, which that's 190, that will be fine. We want 250 grams of sugar. And we're going to cream those 2 with the stand mixer. And to cream the butter and sugar first. Alright, while that's creaming, it wants me to pulse some oats in a food processor till we've got some different textures, some that are more like a flour, oat flour, and some that are just pieces. So we're going to do that. So we want 170 grams of oats, and I'm just going to turbo it a couple of times. I did a 1 second and then a half a second. And it's probably further than it needs to be, but that's fine. We've got that. And then it wants the other dry ingredients blended with that. We also need to put an egg in with the egg and the molasses into the creamed butter and sugar. I'd prefer the milder molasses, the squeeze bottle. This is blackstrap molasses, which is quite strong, and it's not really what we're after. We want more the squeeze bottle stuff for this kind of thing, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. So I just will not add anywhere near as much. I'll do a good sort of a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons worth instead of the 4-ish that it asks for. And the egg to the creamed butter and sugar, and turn that back on. And then we're going to add the other dry ingredients to the pulsed oats just to blend them up, since we've already got this dirty. So we want 210 grams of flour. We want 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1.5 of cinnamon, a pinch of ground cloves and ground nutmeg, and a teaspoon of baking soda in there as well. And we're just going to pulse this just to blend that as well. And then we're going to mix it in with the wet. Now I need to get the other biscuits out of the oven. Now, unfortunately, my baking trays are not particularly evenly shaped, and that means that these biscuits have spread in funny ways, and ideally probably more batter than I needed, because they have ended up being a bit bigger than I planned, because I was going to just bring them in like that so that they were somewhat uniform. We're going to make it work regardless, but while they're warm, if we bring them in so that they're circular, then they will match when we fill them. But because they've gone into the edges of the trays, because my trays are damaged and wonky, let's see how we go. Okay, they look pretty good. And if you hadn't have seen this part of it, like if I had have just hidden this part of it and just shaped them and then shown you, that one's going to definitely be a bit skewed. That one will be a test one. But yeah, we shall see. I think, as I said, I think these will look really effective once once they're all done. And if I had have wanted to, I could have hidden this process and go ta-da. But we know that's not me. If only I could be okay with AI photos and stuff. They look really good now. So we're going to let these ones cool before we transfer them to a rack. And I'm going to repeat the process with these ones that have sagged even more. And I might try and find the other baking trays for the next lot. But anyway, Alright, so this dough gets refrigerated before being cooked. So we're going to put this, I'll put one of my shower caps over it, and this will go in the fridge to chill for half an hour while we put together the chocolate dough. The oven's still on, so I will put these ones that I just refrigerated while I was cooking the other ones in the oven. I'm just going to move them a little bit more to the center so that we try and avoid that side thing that was happening, but we shall see. So I'm going to throw them in the oven as well. Because the KitchenAid bowl is now in the fridge with chilled dough, I'm just going to do this one in the Thermomix. I'm not a huge fan of cookies in the Thermomix just because I find it overdoes the dough a little bit, but we will make it work. So what do we want to do? Now this recipe is in cup measurements, which I really dislike, but we will make it work. We want 1 1/4 cups of flour, 1/4 cups of flour, 1 1/4 cups of sugar, half a cup of cocoa, a teaspoon of bicarb, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and we're going to blend those dry ingredients first. And I put the lid over here. So we're going to blend those. Just like that. Just whisk them together. Alrighty, now we are going to add 1 1/4 sticks of unsalted butter, or half a cup plus 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to Google that, and this butter is getting so soft. 1 1/4 sticks of butter is about 283 grams, so that's what we're going to go with. Now normally we would add this as it's going rather than all at once because we'd have it with the stand mixer, but I can't do that with the Thermomix, so we're going to make it work. 200, God, it's so hot. This butter is just... I'm going to quickly put this back in the fridge because it is just melting like you wouldn't believe. And so we've got the butter in there, and then we want an egg. And we're just going to mix it until we get a dough. Nice and quick though. We don't want to mix it for too long. And that's all we want now. Because that butter was so soft, it doesn't say to chill this. It says to ball it and then chill it, but I'm never going to be able to get this to ball nicely at this texture either, so I'm going to throw this in the fridge for a little bit as well. This is the batch that was refrigerated, so they've held their shape a little bit better. Makes them a little bit easier to bring back into a circle. Oh, if you know, be careful. But they held their shape in a circle fairly well, so I think probably worth, if I'm going to make another batch of these at some point and I want them to be somewhat uniform, refrigerating first. But a smaller ring would be better too. This tray is a lot smaller than the other one I was using, so I've got a lot less room to maneuver. But I think they're uniform enough to work. It's only us eating them. So those ones. All right, I'm going to clean up. I'll bring you back when I'm traying up the next lot. All right, the gingerbread oat has been chilling and it's nice and soft, but it's holding together well, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to do scant ones of these though, because the others ended up a little bit bigger than I would have liked. So scant ones, and we're going to spread them out on the trays and get them baked 12 minutes as well. So Sonnet can wash her hands and roll these if she wants for me. My camera's almost flat, so I will get these done and I'll bring you back when they're out of the oven. Alrighty, these are the ginger ones. These are a much better size for what I wanted. I wish I could find my other round, because this is too big for what I want to get these nice and round, but something smaller would be good to get. But I don't know where it is. Yeah, this one's a bit small. What I need is my crumpet rings. I just don't know where they are. But it's fine. Some of them are a little bit wonky. But they'll be fine. So this is the ginger ones. I'm going to let them cool a little bit before transferring off the tray, and then we will throw the one more tray of these ginger ones, and then we'll start on the chocolate ones as well. Chocolate one, the dough is still very, very soft. I'm going to do one tray of them, put the rest of it back in the fridge, and get this and the last tray of ginger ones in the oven. And this is what the chocolate ones look like, 12 minutes. They're coming out really nice and round, which is great, because I still would normally circle them, except that this is too big for this tray and I can't find the right size rings, which is fine. It's annoying though, because I did have, I bought the new cookie things that had rings with them, and there's this ring and then a smaller one, and I was going to use it for donuts, but I didn't realize it's as small as it is. Those small donuts, mini donuts, isn't a bad thing, I suppose. It just means more that I have to work with. But anyway, chocolate ones look good too. So I'm going to pull these out, let them cool a little bit, transfer them to a tray, repeat the process. So I've got enough chocolate there probably to do another 2 trays. So the idea was that I had around about 24 cookies in 3 different varieties. So once I've got them all chilled, then I'll bring you back to have a look. Alrighty, so this is all the cookies. So the pecan ones are really, really nice. The gingerbread ones, probably a bit too sweet, but they'll be fine with the ice cream in the middle. The chocolate ones, super, super fragile. Now this could be partly my fault because it was a cup measured recipe, and I did the scoop and flatten for the cups and all the rest of it, but at the same time. So I've pulled some out, though this one just cracked when it was on the tray here too, to try and make some into the sandwiches, but there's a whole bunch that are breaking as I'm trying to get them off the tray and things like that. And what I think I'll do, these are completely cool now too, like this one's okay, but a lot of these when you try and move them they just crack. What I will probably do is put these in a Ziploc bag, and we'll use these as cookie crumbles for something, like to mix through your ice cream, like you mix the Oreos through or whatever. But I might try another recipe at some point, but for the moment we have plenty. So but these ones are really nice. They are all soft, and I wanted them soft because we're going to make ice cream sandwiches with them. But yeah, I would definitely tone down the sugar in this one next time, but I probably just make this one again because this was my favorite out of all of them. So we've got those 3, so now it's just to turn them into the ice cream sandwiches. We are going to work fairly quickly here. Now these chocolate biscuits, super fragile. I'm still going to make some. I'm just going to use this really soft coffee ice cream because that's a good flavour anyway on them. Like this, and we just, because it's lovely and soft like that, and then like that, and I'm going to very carefully pick it up and dip it in some sprinkles, and there we go. We have a perfect chocolate coffee ice cream sandwich. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly put together a few of these. I'll do another one of these with the coffee. It's about 1.5 scoops or so on each one, and then push it down so that it comes out the edges, and then we're going to dip it just like that, and we've got 2. So the only have 1 ice cream scoop but we're not, if I was doing this properly, I'd be washing things in between and all that sort of stuff, but I'm not, because, you know, this is me. But this chocolate will be nice with the gingerbread. So I'm having to use my hands just a little bit because these biscuits are fragile. I don't want to cause too much issue. So all I'm going to do is like that. And if I can pick this one up, and we'll just do it like that and like that. And these are going to go in the freezer, so they will firm up a bit more again in the freezer. And then we will keep going. So the same sort of thing with these ones. Move quickly with these chocolate ones and get them in the freezer because they're just hard to work with. So I pulled the pistachio out as well, really soft. So quickly do these ones. Shift them on the... Oh, I just broke one. There's another one for crumbs. One more chocolate that I can salvage with the really soft pistachio on. There we go. So I'm going to quickly throw these 5 in the freezer. I'm just going to throw some more together with the firmer ice cream. This pistachio I will probably put back in the freezer and the kids can have it in ice cream cones tonight if that's what they want. This coffee is pretty soft at the moment too. What have we got here? This is the Cocoa Pops. It's just so hot today. I just want a few of them for a photo op, realistically. So we're just going to smush top. There we go. We'll make it look pretty for some photos. Just like that. And I will construct the rest of them, and then I'll take some really good photos and show you at the end. So that was the Bickies and ice cream sandwich day as well. I wanted to make a whole bunch up all at once, but I'm not going to be able to. So I said goodbye, but then realized that because I wanted to show off all the ice creams and I made 4 of them at a time, they're just too soft in this weather. It's so hot. I'm so sticky and hot and disgusting. It really just drives me nuts. The ice cream is just melting too quickly. So I've stuck all the ice creams that I've spun back in the freezer, and we eat them from that as well. Like if I spin one up one night and I don't finish it, I just pull it out of the freezer the next day, and it's fine. It's not quite as good as the first time, but it's perfectly fine. So I've just put them back in the freezer to firm up again, and I'm going to put my biscuits in. I've got these really cool biscuit tins from IKEA when I bought the kids' new chairs, except I'm just not sure the best way to stack them. I've got them overlapped, but I think that's taking up more room. Probably better off having them in stacks that aren't overlapped. I probably just have too many biscuits for the tin. Anyway, I bought this 2 set of tins from IKEA. They're really cute, purely for cookies. So that's what I'm going to do, is put the cookies away for now and come back to them tomorrow and get some good photos when it's a bit cooler and the ice cream's a bit firmer. Anyway, that's it from me. I've decided it's a fend for yourself dinner night tonight. I got started too late. I had so much work to get done on the computer before I could start cooking that I got started really late. And yeah, anyway, I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching over my bumbling stuff over this Christmas period. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you're all having a good Christmas season. You know, it's not actually Christmas, Christmas season. That's the whole point, is that we're making this season last by doing all these things. That seems to fit better, doesn't it, if I do it like that? Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow.